Right now, Gwyneth Paltrow is locked in a legal battle that I think has to be the most unhinged court case I have ever had the privilege of watching live. It's such a blessing. It really feels like this is a parody of the legal system, like it's some kind of old college humor skit about how court works, because I just can't believe this is real. Like watching this Gwyneth Paltrow court case is like experiencing an episode of Psychosis without ever doing any kind of drugs or anything. It's baffling. I before even getting into the actual specifics of it, I just want to lay the groundwork real quick. She's getting sued by someone named Terry over a ski incident that happened in 2016 where Terry's claiming she ran into him and caused a brain injury as well as other injuries and is seeking damages from that. And Gwyneth Paltrow is saying, no, no, no. She's wiggling her finger and saying, that's not what happened. Terry hit me. So now she's countersuing for $1. She's looking for $1 in damages as a result of all of this. So already the case itself is delivering on the goofiness, but what elevates this and brings it to a higher level and turns that dial from goofy, blowing all the way past wacky, and even teetering on silly, is the fact that the two lawyers that are representing them feel like they've never practiced law in their entire life. I wouldn't be surprised to learn this is their first case, or that this is all just one big publicity stunt and these are two actors pretending to be lawyers.
This is about 11. She hears, suddenly she sees, and a man comes up right behind her. It's like they begin falling to the right, and he hits down side and his head, and so she's pulling. Now, he's like, I no, the whole thing. Younger woman, not younger, it's young. Does that say said? I can't read it.
Now, I know it's not exactly fair to do a little supercut here of his explanation of the situation, but if you just watch the whole thing, it's not much clearer. It really feels like he's trying to recall a nightmare he had after taking NyQuil. Like he's just trying to recall this dream and he's not getting it across clearly. Like even my cat was confused. Like she came in here and jumped up while I was watching this live and must have overheard some of his explanation and then immediately just got the fuck away and went over there and it's been hanging out ever since. The thing is, like, he's presenting like he's nervous. He's actually delivering his side of the situation like I would deliver a class project back in college, where I'm presenting to the class and I've got the butterflies in my tummy, so I'm fumbling all my words. I can't get any of my thoughts out clearly. Like it just does seem that he has a problem with public speaking, which I've never really seen from a lawyer before. And it's not like his opposing lawyer, his opponent here in this legal combat, is any better. In fact, she's getting
friendly. I've taken my kids to one of her concerts before, but we don't talk very often.
You've never given Miss Swift personal, intimate gifts for Christmas.
Your Honor, relevance, or I would like a
relevance.
bench trial.
Well, she's just said that she wasn't friends with her, so I'm inquiring on that.
I was half expecting this lawyer to then turn around and say, if you give me some free Taylor Swift tickets, I'll go ahead and drop this whole case right now and throw Terry to the fucking wolves here. Like, these interactions don't lead to anything. I tried to get the context on what the fuck the thought process here even was with bringing up Taylor Swift out of the blue. And it's apparently because Taylor Swift also did some kind of lawsuit for like $1 in damages as a countersuit back in like 2017 or some shit. But it's still completely irrelevant to the whole case here. It doesn't really serve a purpose to try and establish a connection between Gwyneth Paltrow and Taylor Swift, because that has nothing to do with getting to the bottom of this ski incident and who's at fault and who should be awarded the damages. Now, while we don't know who's fully at fault for the ski incident right now, I do know that you're at fault for bad fashion choices if you decide to miss out on the new Moist Global Swamp Core line. It's our new swamp wear, very Duck Dynasty-esque, beautiful garbs. Every time the lawyers ask questions, it just reminds me of that scene from Godzilla 2014 where he says, "Let them fight," referring to the kaijus. But instead of it being giant monsters here, it's giant fucking weirdos. Everyone involved in this case is weird. You all know I'm not a big fan of Gwyneth Paltrow and Goop in particular. I think Goop is downright dangerous at times and at best extremely stupid. In fact, I'm surprised she hasn't gone to trial for her scam of a candle, "This Smells Like My Vagina." I made a whole review on that candle, and I promise you, no vagina has ever smelled like that candle. It was fraudulent. It was misleading advertisement. It was completely false. It did not smell like her vagina, and I'm very confident. In fact, I might even go for a lawsuit to see if they can put Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy on the stand so we can all smell it and compare it to her candle, but that's a can of worms for a different day. Point is, I'm not a Gwyneth Paltrow fan, and Terry went on the stand today, and after hearing him, I'm certainly not a Terry fan. I don't know who's at fault here. Gwyneth Paltrow moves around and acts like an evil rich supervillain, so I definitely do think there's a chance that she is the one that just blasted Terry because she's not good at skiing and then had no empathy and left him there. That's super possible, but I also think it's equally possible that Terry is a shitty skier and a pathological liar who has been chasing this potential bag for 7 years, because originally he was seeking $3.1 million in damages, but it got thrown out due to them ruling it wasn't a hit and run. So he came back and is doing it again, but this time for a lower amount of $300,000 in damages. So it really feels like both people are fucking weird. But before showing you Terry, I want to show you one more best of moment from Gwyneth Paltrow's lawyer, who tries to see if they can bring in treats for the bailiffs.
This private security for my client wanted to bring in treats for the bailiffs for how helpful they've been. So I wanted to do that transparently and see if there are any objections.
You object. We object. Okay. There's an objection.
Okay, so I will let them know.
Let them know thank you, but no thank you.
I mean, he should have asked us first, frankly.
It hasn't been done.
I know, he should have asked us first. We could talk about it, but he just sprung it on us now. So we object.
What'd you find out about the jury?
This guy actually feels like a camp counselor and they're on a school field trip or something. Like, holy shit. So the treats were shot down. They put the kibosh on that. But they were open to negotiate. In fact, they get into a little bit of a tiff, a slight argument about well, if you'd only, asked us before and discussed it, I mean, maybe we could have all had treats together, maybe even a little pizza party. I mean, you didn't really give us notice. You sprung it up out of nowhere. You ambushed us with it. So nope, not anymore. Now none of us get to enjoy any of these baked goods.
You were asked about the press conference and referring to Miss Paltrow as King Kong. Were you referring to her as King Kong or the noise that you heard?
That's leading, Your Honor.
What did King Kong refer to?
I got to watch this whole segment unfold live, and my God, what a treat. So right now the line of questioning is about King Kong and explaining why he said King Kong. And this is Terry's response.
My apologies to Ms. Paltrow, because my intention got twisted up in my intentions and was to say it sounded like a lady getting chased by King Kong out of the jungle. It was that kind of I'm really scared.
He clarifies that the sound he was hearing reminded him of a woman being chased by King Kong out of the jungle. So that cleared all of that up, luckily. Another question that I feel gets pretty much fucking nowhere.
There was some testimony from Miss Paltrow again that she was hit in the back by a very large man, or that there was a very large man. Could you just step down for just a moment? Terry, do you... No, right here. Right here. Do you consider yourself a very large man?
Many times I wish I was, but no. Definitely on the small side of most people.
Finally, real evidence to poke holes in Gwyneth Paltrow's story. She said, apparently, that she was hit from behind by a large man. So, in order to prove that this is a false claim, she brings Terry out to just embarrass him. Like, he is not a large man, this is a small man. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is a manlet. It just puts him on blast like that. Terry, my brother, I am also on the small side. I'm 5'6". If someone called me out to prove a point that there's no way this whole case is real because Charlie is too fucking short to fit this definition, he's too much of a goddamn hobbit for this to be true, I would have just said, it's not worth it, please. The shame is too much for me to bear. Just let that claim be accurate. Let the large man claim stick. That's fine. We can fight on every other point. Please let the large man stay in the record as truthful. Don't fucking have the jury point and laugh at me because I'm short. Like, good lord, this was... I mean, I understand what the thought process was here, like, trying to prove that, she can't be a reliable source of information since she says it was a large man that hit her and Terry's not that big, but I mean, holy shit, it's still a wild thing to watch unfold like this.
You've been here for a number of days. You've heard all the doctors testify. Your entire life has now been broadcast to the world.
I feel like I've been fleshed out, and anyone up here, I think, would feel the same way.
Very
painful.
In fact, I think you just told me back there, well, I could never go on another dating site again.
Objection. Terry can go on any dating site he wants. Sustained. Again, this is just simply a line of questioning maybe I'm too dumb to understand. What does this have to do with anything? It's a public trial, so of course, on both sides, a ton of information is going to come to light to the public. So, I'm unsure of where this was supposed to lead. Maybe it was supposed to make people feel, like, bad for Terry, like, on the stand, like, oh man, this guy, he's had his whole life laid out in front of everyone now.